Hello, it is Fabrizio Ayala, creator of Horace H. Hoover, and today I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of page through the book, maybe point out some things you didn't notice or give you a little background on a few things. So let's start with page one. This I thought was, I added an ashtray. It got cut off for the most part, but I still liked having that on there because he's the smoke man and this is an ashtray. Also, there is some Egyptian lettering on that ashtray, which I will probably put in a poster, which has a little bit of relevance. Something you might notice here is a map of New York. So this is his updated map. I think I've mentioned it before, but basically what he does is when he goes around town and he walks into some random store, or maybe goes down an alley or something like that, and when he ends up somewhere else, he's like, that's not right. On the corner of 46 and 8th is the Plateau of Fear or something like that. So he has a giant map of New York in the background that he'll put notes on, and he'll write things just to essentially correct it. He does plan to inform the manufacturers later on that their map is wrong. The color. So the color is actually really important, especially in the first story. You'll notice it's very orange. So, we have Horace who's red and blue, and the background is very warm in that orange. But you'll notice is whenever he meets the girl, basically she's sort of surrounded in this purple, blue. So we really get the difference between sort of the energy that Horace brings, as opposed to this very cool and potentially creepy room inside. So that was a big thing, and it's very obvious here, right? So outside with Horace it's orange, and inside it's this purple. Let's see. So when she brings him inside, he does look under the lamp for her, which I thought was kind of funny. This is pretty interesting. So this page of script here is actually a short story that I wrote. I will post this short story eventually. It's not Horace related, but it's just a horror short story. And I didn't want to pull something from the public domain, so I just took a screenshot of my story, so you can read a little bit of it here, which I thought was great. So I will post that short story later sometime, maybe on Twitter or something. I thought that was kind of fun. We finally see the reveal for the Smoke Man. This was a lot of fun. Obviously the first full page splash I had done. This, again, going back to the color, is pretty important because as soon as she hands Horace the book, essentially things change. So she has the book with her. The book's being haunted. It's, chasing her, or the book. And then as soon as she hands that over, we get that yellow and then into the orange. So at that point, we sort of know visually, subconsciously, that, okay, things are okay. She's all right now. Everything's orange. Even when you look inside, it's orange. Even from here, again, it's all orange, none of those purples, except down here. So now it's we get the purples and the blues along with Horace. So that color in that first issue was really important for me. Let's see what else. The Valley of Fear. So there's a lot of little details in this that I don't know if you can see super well, but the tentacles are really incorporated into their daily life. So they build around them. If you notice here, it's like a balcony that rests on this giant tentacle. It just has become a part of this pocket universe. If you look in the corner here, you see a crate of food, and I think it was a jug of something. So it's just, it's part of life. They're there. Over here, if you look, there's actually some bells hanging on a tentacle. So whoever lives there just wants a little warning if the tentacle ever does decide to move. We get Slurp's indecipherable dialogue, which, again, I do plan on doing maybe an augmented reality application that you hover over, sort of like a secret decoder, and then you can see what Slurp's been saying this whole time. We do the flashback. Again, color's really important here. Purples, it definitely differentiates between the pocket universe and this train ride. Then we head back to here's another example of the tentacles sort of being built into the houses at this point. really fun drawing to do, like the crushing of the house. So this is Monster Summer Beach Vacation. This is my advertisement. Little backstory on this. I had come up with a game called Monster Beach Vacation, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, very, very long time ago, maybe even more than that. I'm a game developer, so I had started working on the game, had done some 3D modeling, had everything sort of planned out. And it didn't work out, but it was always visually an interesting thing. I loved this main character, and the idea is that these funny sort of Godzilla-type characters are just trying to get to the beach for vacation, but along the way they're smashing these towns. So you control him to make his way to the beach. And I always loved in these old comic books, you would see this amazing photo or illustration of like Star Wars or something like that, and then there would be a shot of the actual game. And so I loved this idea, so I wanted to kind of play into that. So if you read it, there's a couple little funny things in that. That was funny. This scene, again, is Horace being overly optimistic and trusting when maybe he shouldn't. This was kind of interesting. I really wanted to show that the door was shutting, so I put all the dialogue behind the door to make it, to really drive home that point. Let's see. We get to the big reveal. There's the fight. Action scenes are pretty fun to do. I'm going to definitely be doing more of them, some bigger ones. I really wanted to show that this helmet is sturdy, so I just knocked a chunk out of the wall behind him. And then of course we have the Brooklyn Edwardian Gentlemen's Pugilist Club, which does not exist but will definitely exist in this world. And I actually wrote most of the story backwards from this right here. I really thought this part was funny. And the thing that I really like about this is that he does figure it out, but he goes about it in an unusual way. So it's not like Sherlock Holmes, where like, oh, well, your cuff is torn because you were down this alley and only, on Friday it rained, et cetera, et cetera. Horace will figure it out, but he won't go about it in the way that you expect. So this really is very characteristic of him. We get Horace's address, located 107 Waverly Place. So we'll see what happens with that. In issue 2, we will definitely pick up where the Smoke Man left off. Issues 2, 3, and 4 will follow that story. So yeah, if you can think of any other like little details that you saw that you had a question about, put them in the comments. Thanks a lot. Bye.